as always.
Always a pleasure, Alfred, being here.
You're an officer of the court, so I know earlier today you kept an eye on what was happening in this particular case.
Precisely so.
Let's get into it. What happened?
Yes, so we all were looking forward to what was going to happen today because the Attorney General had given us heads up as to what exactly was going to happen, except we didn't know the kind of charges that were going to be leveled against Chairman Wontumi and his Akonta mining company. We didn't also know who the other persons were going to be, even though he had mentioned that in his own words, Chairman Wontumi and 5 others.
Right.
It did appear that the case now became cases because now there are 2 separate cases, both bordering on illegal mining. But the cases are founded on different or distinct set of facts.
Right.
And that's why it's important for us to separate the matters. The first one, like rightly indicated, was the one that was brought against Chairman Wontumi and 2 other persons. The other 2 persons included the Kwame Entry and then Akonta Mining Company Limited, which is the company that he owns. Later, we'll get to understand who exactly the accused persons are, because there's a portion that we'll dedicate to knowing exactly who they are and what their state of being is as we speak. So in that particular matter, the counts largely were in respect of assigning of mineral rights without approval from the minister, assignment of mineral, the same thing against Kwame Entry. Then,
and understand this Kwame Entry is at large.
He's at large, yes. What it means is that
he cannot be found.
They don't know where he is at the moment. There's also a corporate liability for unauthorized assignment. That is count 3. Count 4 also talks about purposely facilitating unlicensed mining contrary to the mining laws. Count 5, purposely facilitating unlicensed in respect of Kwame Entry. And then the last one has to do with corporate facilitation of unlicensed mining. Now, Alfred, if we go into the facts on which these charges are grounded, then we begin to appreciate how this is distinguished from the other case that we look at, which is Chairman Wontumi and 4 others. In that one, we have 5 accused persons, unlike the first one where we have 3 accused persons. Now, this is how we have summarized the brief facts. So the brief facts usually will tell you what exactly happened for which prosecution is bringing charges against these people. Now, they talk about a police operation, which took place somewhere April 16, 17, 2025. It was an anti-galamsey operation somewhere in Summerboy that the police arrested 29 persons, including one Michael A.C. Jedu. They recovered some items, including cash, gold, and 29 excavators. This happened, take note of the dates, April 16, 17, 2025. So we are talking about this year.
True.
Now, this Michael, who was among the persons who were arrested, named one Henry Okum as his employer. Now, Mr. Okum admitted under caution that he obtained direct permission from Wontumi in September 2024 to conduct mining activities within the concession. Follow the trend. 29 people were arrested, including one Michael. That Michael names a Henry to be the person who employs him. Now, the Henry person also admits that he obtained the direct permission of Wontumi to mine in that particular concession.
In September 2024?
That was September 2024. But the operation was carried out in April 2025.
Okay.
Now, investigations, according to prosecution, established that Wontumi authorized the said Henry Okum to mine within Akonta Mining's concession without legally required approval from the minister. So it is the case that if somebody must mine in your concession, there is a procedure that has to be followed. It is the view of the prosecution that that procedure was not followed. So Wontumi did not follow the right process to give this Henry person that authorization for which he too could employ another person to go and mine in that concession.
Who gives authorization to go mine?
The minister.
It's the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
Yes.
He signs the licenses.
Exactly.
And not Chairman Wontumi in that sense.
So that is the basis for this particular charge. So briefly, that is what formed the basis for the charges that we saw earlier in respect of these 3 persons. Now let's look at what the second case has to do with. The second case against 5 persons. So this time around we are flipping it. We are looking at the brief facts before we look at what the charges really are.
Perfect.
Now this case is coming from multiple petitions that were lodged with the CID against Akonta Mining and Chairman Wontumi for unauthorized mining activities within the Tano Nimre Forest Reserve. Multiple petitions, and you do recall, under the previous administration, there were quite a number of petitions.
True.
And we know names of persons who have petitioned the CID then to investigate Chairman Wontumi and Akonta Mining.
But the former president was clear that at the time he was speaking, just around the same time these petitions were filed, that Akonta Mining was not involved in illegal mining.
Yes.
You recall that?
However, this narration will point to something else. Now, that police investigations reveal that while Akonta Mining lawfully obtained mining leases in the said area, Samurai Boy and Abekwasi in July 2022, its application to mine in the Tano Nimre Forest Reserve was refused.
Right.
So yes, they had mining, they had obtained the mining leases in the said area. However, when they applied for the license to mine in the Tano Nimre Forest, that was refused. That the company deployed over 40 excavators, erected unauthorized structures, and carried out extensive mining, causing severe environmental destruction, including devastation of 13 hectares and pollution of the Tano River. Mind you, they said they did not have the permit to go into the forest reserve.
Absolutely.
But this is what prosecution says has been the destruction that they caused as a result of going in there without a permit. Now, when Forestry Commission officials seized some equipment, Akonta Mining Company's armed personnel, led by its managers, forcibly retrieved them. So this is the basis for the second set of charges. These are in respect of matters that happened before this particular administration, because these were petitions, the investigations were done somewhere in 2022, and it also ties into the comment we heard from the Attorney General to the effect that a docket was prepared along the line, they could not find the docket, he was brought to him, which he signed off, and this is it. Now let's look at the key players in this. Who are the accused persons? In all, there are 5 persons, 1 artificial person, 4 natural persons. Akonta Mining itself. What prosecution is telling us is that this is a company which is incorporated under the laws of Ghana. It was incorporated on November 5, 2010. The object was for mining and exploration. The second person is Chairman Wontumi himself, Benadenchi, a 40-year-old entrepreneur and one of the 2 shareholders of the 2 directors of Akonta Mining. Let me explain.
Right.
So Akonta Mining, as incorporated, had 2 shareholders. Chairman Wontumi was one of them.
Right.
It had 2 directors. Chairman Wontumi was one of them, or is one of them, as it will show in the record of the Register of Companies. Now, Kwame Yenchi, who is said to be at large, is also listed to be the other shareholder. So he's a co-shareholder and also a co-director. So he and Chairman Wontumi are shareholders and directors.
You recall that
at least that's what prosecution says per the record that they have from the Register of Companies.
Yeah, and one of the demands of this, one of the petitions to the CID against Chairman Wontumi or the Akonta Mining by, as we'll see later, Adam Senanu, Martin Pebu, Engineer Kenashigbe, the 4 of them.
Yes.
They were demanding the identities of the directors and the shareholders of Akonta Mining. So now we know.
Exactly. It gets more interesting as we go forward. Now, in respect of this person, prosecution tells us that when they asked Chairman Wontumi to know who this person is, he indicated that after having signed off all the documentation for the incorporation of the company in 2010, he has no idea where this person is.
I see.
Prosecution did indicate that they are still carrying out investigation to see if this person still exists, because there's a suspicion that this person may not actually exist.
The Kwame Yenchi person,
yes,
who is at large?
That's why they say it's at large.
They say
because the co-shareholder, co-director does not know where he is. He says since 2010, when they incorporated the company,
he says he doesn't know where
this man is. Yes,
co-director.
So prosecution has suspicion that this person may not actually exist.
Okay.
Edward Ekwaku He's the general manager of Akonta Mining Company Limited. He's 48 years. And then Kojo Owusu Bempa, alias Sly, he is operations manager of Akonta Mining. So you recall that they said when the Forestry Commission people went in to see some equipment that the company's armed personnel came with managers of the company.
Sure.
These were the two persons that they were talking about. So based on this, they preferred the charges, which included undertaking mining operations without license. They also went on to prefer the charge of felling trees in forest reserves without written authority from the competent forest authority, abating the unauthorized felling of trees in the forest reserve, and also erecting buildings in forest reserve without written authority. So in respect of this, these are the charges that have been leveled against them. So the clear distinction between the two cases is that one has to do with facts that preceded this particular administration,
Yes.
and the other one has to do with facts that are within this particular administration. So that's how you can simplify the two particular matters. In respect of one, 15 million cedis bill, 3 sureties, 2 of which was to be justified. In the other one, 10 million, 2 sureties.
Yeah. Let's stay